see. Okay, I think it's working now. I'm not entirely sure. As usual, I'll just assume it's working. Let's see if any. If no one's gonna join, might as well just open it up now. um, I have no idea if this is gonna end up in the like final uploaded edition. So, hello, people. Will anyone hear this? Probably not. You gotta love YouTube live streaming. You have no idea what will happen. It's like a weird. Wait. Hmm? Looks like there's something weird going on with the. Okay, I had to check on my phone. Okay, it's fine. uh, I guess we'll just open it up now. So, and apparently I think you can't hear me if you're on the VOD. So hello, welcome to the live stream, but now I'm going to open it up to everyone. How do I do that again? Okay, I remember how to do that. And I have to tweet it out because Twitter, there's a lot of people who follow me on Twitter, I guess. So, that's usually a smart thing to do. Okay, now I'll be quiet and I'll let people show. Hello? Okay, I think it's working now. I don't. For some reason, I guess YouTube does not want to let people know that I'm live, so I had to go and do it myself. Oh well. Um. So let's see. As you can tell with the title, today I am talking about the new magazine scans that came out a couple days. Yes, actually a day ago or something. Um. So Zenkaijer and Saber. That's about it. There's no. I already talked about Dino Fury. Last wasn't it Monday? Was it? It was Monday. Okay, Monday I did Dino Fury, and Cure Major. There's nothing Cure Major here. However, uh, let's see. Cure Major ends this weekend, so if you would like to see, and my review comes out next week. So if you would like to see my thoughts on Cure Major early this weekend, probably a few hours after the finale, I'll get out my full review on the season will be up on Patreon. So if you want to see that early, $2, you can watch that video early. You'll be able to watch you'll get the full audio version. If you sign up now, you'll actually get the full, or you'll get like a big audio edition, and you'll also get a sneak peek at what I've already worked on. And then if you continue paying $2 in March, I have a lot of videos planned for March, a lot of audio stuff that will be going on. So I assume you'll get your money's worth, but I also I don't know because I have no idea. So let's see who's here. Welcome Felipe, Darth Wing, Dragonfire Studios, Andres, Ranger Legacy, K the Red Ninja, TL Savage, Zach Leong, Sir Quayu, I think I'm saying that wrong, Ikazuchi Bato, and everyone has noticed the description says MAGINE. I promise I won't talk too much about MAGINE in this stream. However, I cannot promise anything. So let's move on to everything. Oops, you are not supposed to see that. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I thought that they only released MAGINE pictures at first, and then I was proven wrong. There actually is a lot more to the Zenkaijer scans than just MAGINE, but to me, all that matters is MAGINE in the Zenkaijer scans. So, and yes, we're starting with Zenkaijer because I personally think the Saber stuff is more interesting in that there's more to talk about, like to discuss. But that's not to say I'm not excited for Zenkaijer. I'm very excited for Zenkaijer. It's just in the scans, it's a lot of like, we already know what MAGINE looks like. At least I do. So there's everyone's calling me a simp. I'm not a simp. However, MAGINE. Just throwing that out there. So first picture, I have links to everything in the description. Actually, yeah, I forgot to mention. In the description, I've linked to all the images I'm going to look at. It's a Twitter thread. Shout out to Legion of Boom. That does a good job just compiling everything into one Twitter thread. I also linked to a YouTube video with the Zenkaijer roll call because it is fantastic. If you are excited for Zenkaijer, please do yourself a favor and go watch the roll call, unless you don't want to be spoiled. In that case, it makes sense. But the roll call is amazing. No simps. There are no simps here. Don't worry about it. Okay, so the first thing is pictures of the Megazords. I don't know what's going on here. The most important part of this, I think you can see my mouse, right? Can we see my mouse? I can't actually feasibly go check. So we're just gonna assume you can see my mouse. In the bottom left, I think that's the cockpit for Zenkaijer when he's in a mecha, but I also don't I don't know. I mean, it looks like that. I see all the Megazords are here. So also, I call them Megazords sometimes. If you are offended by me calling these things Megazords, I'm sorry. I'm gonna call them Megazords. This is a tiny picture. I did not know this was tiny. So yeah, that's definitely the cockpit, I guess, or the whatever you want to call it. And I mean, this is really just showing us Juragaon, Rumajin, and then the 2 combo forms. This is apparently just a printing error. This is actually Majin, but she's purple for some reason. I don't know why they would do that to Majin. I'm actually honestly kind of offended by that, but just ignore that. Oh great, here's another picture of Juragaon. We've seen Juragaon, all the whatever you want to call them, the who's-its, the was-its. Here's a great, this is pretty good, except Zenkaiser's cut off. Poor Zenkaiser. But let's just ignore Zenkaiser getting completely torn apart by the page fold. But here's a nice group shot. Mine has half of Zenkaiser. And at the bottom you can see the civilian forms, and you can see civilian Majin, sorry, which is obviously what we all care for. At least, yes, that's what I care for. Oh, actually, Gowan's at the top. Poor Gowan, he's just stuck up here because they have to put a puzzle thing or whatever that is. I feel bad for him. The roll call at least made me very take a liking to Gowan because I love how the energy he has when he says his roll call. I'm not gonna replicate it, but he's very loud, and I like how loud he is. Oh, I love this picture. I almost used this for the thumbnail, but it kind of cut off Zenkaiser. So, wonderful group shot of our 5, I guess our 1 ranger, his 4 robot friends. Same thing up here, except I'm not gonna say it. Okay, here's the most interesting part of the scans, at least from what I can remember. I'm probably gonna get more surprised as we go along. So we get more looks at what these Zenkai gears are gonna do. So last time we looked at in the last month, it doesn't feel like it was a month ago that we talked about the last month's scans, but it was a month ago, and it kind of hurts to think about that. Time is completely meaningless now. But anyway, we have a better look at the Juo Eagle gear, or the Juodra gear, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. And we get the wings again, which we knew. At the top, we have the red Lupin Ranger gear, which is going to be coming out soon, I think. And apparently it's going to let Zenkaiser open safes. So I don't know what situation he'll be in where he has to open safes, but he has a gear to do that. And it's the super red version, not the normal version. So, like, are those going to appear in the show? What's the difference? Like, is there a normal Lupin Ranger gear? I mean, I know in the toy line there's a normal Lupin Ranger gear. I mean, purely in the show, is there a normal Lupin Ranger gear? Is there a difference between the two? Is it just like the one episode in Lupin Ranger, I guess, where for some reason the hammer or the scissors sword got turned into like a hammer thing, and it was purely to sell a toy? Like, is he gonna be like, I'm gonna use the Lupin Ranger gear, and then, wow, it's red? Would you believe that? Because there are other red versions. There's a Gao red version coming out soon. There's a Pat Ranger one in the scans coming up, and then there's a Kira Major one, I think, in the scans as well. So, do those appear in the show? Will those do anything different in the show? I assume the sounds in the toys won't be different, but I don't know. Something to think about. Maybe it's like in Build, where they had the Lost Bottles, and then they had like the black versions of the Lost Bottles, and the black version was purely because. And you can also see the Die Ranger gear, and I don't know what they're doing with it, but it's there. Oh, and the Tokyuger gear, which is really fun. It looks like it makes him do the roll call. And I think I'll if I remember, I'll bring this up in a second. But there's only 4 Zenkaijers here, Majin in the back, no Vroom, and apparently this I've seen speculation that this is because of the confirmed episode listing things. I'll talk about it in a second. I don't know how to. It's look who it is, everyone. Let's very briefly talk about on the right. That's a very nice picture of Zenkaiser. On the left, and I mean, we have versions of this for Juran and Gaon. I like this little layout with the Zenkaiger civilian, their robot ranger form, and at the top is Majin in the civilian form and the ranger form, which has definitely grown on me. Here's the other half of that Zenkaiser picture. I guess he's showing us how to do the transformation if it wasn't obvious with the big handle and the trigger. And here's Gaon and Juran, and that's it. Gaon and Juran. As I said, there's not really much to these scans per se. Like, it's actually what is really cool is that last month we only, and technically up until the movie came out, we've only been getting footage for the movie because they're advertising the movie. So this is all stuff for the show itself, not the movie. And from now on, I think we're getting footage from the movie. So that's pretty cool. So, yeah. So here's more. Oh, I guess here's a bigger version of that tiny picture from earlier. And here we have, I guess, a step-by-step. So 1, you shoot gun at sky. 2, you grow big. 3, you turn into weird-looking animals and a dragon in a truck. And 4, you combine with friends. I like the step-by-step. I question the... Oh, right, they read from left to right in Japan. So I was like, why is it like 1, 2, 3, 4? But it works there. And just a reminder that the robot forms are turning big, and yeah, that's it. Is the new form for Saber called Elemental Dragon? Yes, it is, and I will be getting into that after we talk about Zenkaijer a little bit more. Here's a cool pic of Juragaon. I actually prefer Juragaon to Vrumajin now that we have better pictures of it. I think Juragaon just looks better. I mean, maybe it's just the colors. I like the red and yellow a bit better, and the silhouette's a bit cooler. I think the next picture is Vrumajin. Yeah, here's Vrumajin. It's not bad at all, but I don't prefer it as much. I don't know why. I think it's because Juran and Gaon have like the same design, so the robot just kind of looks more symmetrical minus the colors, really. And Majin and Vroom, their designs are not like mirrored like the other two, so their robot form kind of looks a bit more mishmashy than the other two. So, but here's another picture. I think, is he in the last one? No, he's not. I guess here's Zenkaiser in his cockpit again. Oh, and it looks like the gun like slots in. Oh, you can see. Okay, I didn't know that. So people have been talking about the Geertlinger having these red like flaps for a while, and here I guess you can see. Let me see if I can zoom in. So here you can see. Is that working? Okay, cool. You can see the red flaps are flapping down, and it's purely, I guess, for like the Megazord cockpit mode for standing the Geertlinger up. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. I thought it was just like a weird hinge design feature, but it is a legitimate hinge because you're legitimately supposed to set it down like that for the Megazord mode, I guess. So that's very cool. I think I discovered something for once, because usually I don't do that. And Phoenix here, I guess. So share it with your friends, everyone, that I discovered vital information about the Geertlinger. My brain is massive. I am smart. No, I'm not. Villains. last time we didn't have anything about the villains. We had one page and it was me guessing. This time it is still one page and it's going to be me guessing. However, I don't remember anything's name. So we have more pictures, but we're not, information-wise, we're not much better off than we were last time because I still don't know anything's name. If anyone knows anything's name. Actually, I know the villains are called the Toji Tendo. I know that. That's it. So I'm going to use very generic terminology. So our big bad is a wall. Literally a wall. He has a hand, and his head kind of sticks out. And in a creepy fashion, he has a hole in himself, the wall, for his evil bird friend to sit in. And then on the left we can see the evil gears again, and I guess how everything's gonna work. It's just like, here's a foot soldier, we put a gear in the foot soldier, and the foot soldier turns into the monster. So it's kind of like Jungle Fury, if anyone, and I assume Geki Ranger, where they had the foot soldiers and they just changed the foot soldiers into the monsters. That's what it looks like is going on here, and I thought it was cool there, so very cool here. And at the bottom we have, I guess, your generic Sentai other villains, where you have the big military dude who probably yells a lot, and the weird scientist dude, who I know for a fact is a scientist dude because in the trailer he's like speaking really creepy, and he's like, I have a Zenkaijer. Here's a gear monster, and then it turns into a monster. So that's it for the villains. I mean, as we found out last time, I believe, or if I'm remembering correctly, we have the small monster robots, I guess clearly made from the foot soldiers, and either they grow or there's just a different robot, but it's like a different design when they grow, and or it's a big robot. So the villains, I mean, there's not really anything to comment on with the villains other than, I mean, actually I really like the little foot soldier dudes. The villain being a wall is a bit strange, and obviously the friends of the big bad are just normal Sentai dudes. I do like their designs. Everything's designed villain wise. Actually, the foot soldiers, sorry, not the foot soldiers, the monsters of the week are fine. I'm not like loving them, but I love the robotic aspect to everything. So yeah, I guess that's it. Actually, I do like the scientist dude is just a big like tank, I guess. So that's pretty cool. And I think the most interesting thing about the villains is that they're Kikinoid too, I think. So I think it's kind of interesting that I can't remember, definitely not in Kira Major, not fully. But I don't think, to my memory, Sentai doesn't usually make their villains the Rangers, as in like the villains are Kikinoids and 4 of the 5 Rangers are also Kikinoids. So it's kind of like, I guess in 01, as a very, very specific example, we had evil Humagears and good Humagears. Or no, well, yeah, we did, but they weren't riders. But I don't recall that happening, at least not like in Ryu Soldier or Kira Major, which are the last 2. So, so that's it with villains. So this is our look at, first off, MAGINE. Second, more gears. Actually, we already looked at the gears, and okay, so the gears are later. So better look at the Lupin Ranger gear, which does actually look very cool. I like the red gears. I'm curious what role they will play. A picture of, look, you can use it in the toy that's not out yet. The bottom is some stuff for the movie, I think. This whole thing might be for the movie. I'm not entirely sure, because I have not seen the movie yet, because I live in America. So here you can see Kaito's grabbing a wall of Geartlingers, so that's interesting. By MAGINE. Here's the thumbnail, which is a great picture of Zenkaiser and his 4 robot buddies. Here, hi MAGINE. Here's another picture of Zenkai. Actually, here's a very nice layout of just everything. We have once again our 4 Kikanoid friends, and then their civilian friends or modes. Sorry, and then we have Zenkaiser and Zenkaiser in his normal mode. We have everyone together, very happy, I assume. And then we have the bird friend, whose name is Setchan, I think. And from the episode descriptions, apparently he starts off as a toy bird. So obviously there's the connection with the villains. So there's an interesting question here of, if he's a toy bird for the heroes, why do the villains just have not an identical, but why did the villains also have a bird, but it's alive starting, like from the start? Actually, he's down here. So it's like, I mean, I would expect the show to answer that. So I'm just bringing up the question for the sake of bringing up the question. We have 2 bird friends. We have Brave Bird and we have Jaku Bird. Will they fight each other? I think that's what we really want to know. Will they fight each other? I mean, other than other things, will they fight each other? And at the bottom we have the villains again. Big Wall Man, Tank Joe, Actual Tank, Foot Soldier, Evil Bird, and I believe that is a monster, big monster. So yeah, I think that's the big monster because it has like the big monster body that I think they just repaint for all the other monsters. So on this page we have more Zenkaiger powers. So I forget 06. I'm going to need someone to tell me what 06 is. Here's Ninja, and it looks like it lets Juran slash at people. Here's 26. I can't. That's Hurricaneger. Okay, I think. Yeah, because Gao Ranger's 25. So that's Hurricaneger 26, and it lets Zenkaiser Rider kick, I guess. Oh yeah, there's a Hurricaneger right here. I should have known that. Here's the Die Ranger. Okay, so the Die Ranger gear gives them Die Ranger weapons, which is cool. I didn't even notice because it just looked like it was part of their arsenal, just a big stick. So that was okay. That's pretty cool. I'm just gonna look up Super Sentai 6. Oh, Goggle 5. Never mind. Everyone already told me. Thank you, Goggle 5. We did this last month, but I don't remember. You expect me to remember? Goggle 5 gives them ribbons because that is a thing that happened in Goggle 5, I think. So, if I'm gonna be honest, I wish it gave them always weapons, because I think it's kind of weird that, like, some of them give them weapons, like obviously Goggle 5, as everyone told me. Thank you. Goggle 5 gives them ribbons, which were, I assume, weapons they used in Goggle 5. Die Ranger gives them the sticks that are clearly weapons that they used in Die Ranger. But then here we have Ninja and Hurricaneger, and as we know, Juoger, they just get an attack. So clearly there's no real rhyme or reason to why certain things go the way they do. So I'm just kind of intrigued as to why some things give weapons and other things just give powers. And I think this might be the first look at the Ninja gear and the Hurricaneger gear, but I might be wrong on that. But if I'm remembering correctly, those are the first looks at those. What is Zenkaiser holding? That is a ribbon. Yeah, a lot of people were talking about, like, when we got the trailer, that everyone was going to get an armor form, but, like, that seems kind of ridiculous. Especially since it would be like a Geo copy if they all got armors. So, I do kind of like it like this, that they all get weapons. Well, half of it when they get weapons, but I wish they all got weapons and it wasn't, some of them give weapons and others are just random powers and attacks. So I mean, if it's like a Sentai doesn't have a weapon, and then you give them an attack, like, sure, but, like, Zyuohger, they have weapons, Hurricaneger, they have weapons, Ninja, they have, like, weapons, like, team weapons. I don't know why they didn't just do that, and it just, like, is random, I guess. So these are the last 2 scans, I believe. And there are more Zenkai gears. Some of this is for the movie, I think. I know this top part is the movie, and you can barely see it. But this is, I think, one singular Zenkai gear, and it has every Red Ranger on it except Juren, because he's not in the full history of the people yet. What is very cool about Lupin Ranger versus Power Ranger is that it means that technically that is a gear with all 45 Red Rangers on it in the 45th season, not including a character that is introduced in the 45th season. So that's very cool. Good on you, Lupin Ranger versus Power Ranger. You did something great. That was mean. I don't hate Lupin Ranger versus Power Ranger. Yes, that's true. On the bottom left is Beast Morphers. Can you believe it, guys? They brought Power Rangers into Super Sentai finally. There's a Beast Morphers Zenkai gear. Just ignore the 36. It's definitely Beast Morphers. Here's the Tokyuger gear again, and here you can see only 4 Kikanoids using it. That's where it's like kind of weird, where it's like this is just an attack, right? Actually, all these are just attacks. But like for the Tokyuger one, I think it's really funny that it's just the Tokyuger like roll call. Actually, that looks like it's an actual attack in Tokyuger, but I just think of it from the roll call. And then Zyuohger, we've known for a very long time it gives wings. It's even in these scans again. So, yeah, I just think it's weird that we're going, like, back and forth. Like, some of these will give weapons, others will give powers. If that's a gag in the show, that would be very funny. If, like, they're like, I'll use this Zyuohger gear to get a weapon, and then Zenkaijer starts flying or something. Actually, now that I think of it, if they're showing all of these off, we're going to be seeing a lot of Zenkai gears in the first month. I guess they're not really going to be going full anniversary with, like, returning actors, possibly, because it seems like they're just going to use Zenkai gears as, like, weapons, and they just happen to be based off of Sentai number 40, 38, 36, whatever, which, I'm okay with, because they did Gokaiger as the all-out anniversary before. So, yeah, there's just something I thought of. There's gonna be a lot of Zenkai gears in the first month, I guess. So, and this top gear, I already mentioned what it's used for, or when it was used, but I believe it's used in the movie to summon all of these Red Rangers. And I guess Akka Ranger just acquired omnipotence from the summon and took his helmet off, or not took his helmet off, he just started talking to Zenkaijer. So, and this is the first picture we looked at. So, let me find a picture. Here's a good one. I like this picture for multiple reasons. But those are all the Zenkaijer, sorry. Those are all the Zenkaijer scans. Marcos Satsu in the chat. What's up, Marcos? Those are all the Zenkaijer scans. I'll move on to the Rider scans in a second, but wait, I just remembered I was going to talk about episodes stuff. So let me find it. It's on my Twitter because I retweeted it because it made me sad. So this is from Ranger Board. So we have episode names and some descriptions for the first 4 episodes. So episode 1 name says, a month has passed since a mysterious mechanical city full of Kikanoids. Kikanoids are in it. It's basically the plot of 01, except the robots don't try to kill everyone, and there's no robot racism until evil Kikanoids show up, I guess. And then there's robot racism, and then there's evil robots, and then Kaito becomes Zenkaijer, and that's all the episode's about. So the next episode is about finding Gaon. So they're kind of doing like a weird like build up of the team. So episode 1 will not have like a full 5 Zenkaijers roll call whatever. It's only going to have Zenkaijer, and it doesn't mention it, but presumably Juran. And then episode 2 will apparently be about Gaon, and then episode 3 will be about Majin, and then episode 4 will have of Room, because episode 2 is about the roaring beast, wild beast. Episode 3 is about a murmuring wizard, and episode 4 is about, well, it doesn't say anything related to Room, but you kind of have to assume. So, on the one hand, I think it's very cool that we're building up the team like this, because it kind of feels like Sentai's been doing this since Q Ranger, because in Q Ranger we had the 9-person team, so you kind of had to do that, because we started with the 3, we added 2 by the end of the episode, then we had the 2 in the next, then we had Stinger, then we had Raptor, then we had all 9 Q Rangers together, and then in Lupin Ranger versus Paddle Ranger, we had the 3 at the beginning, and then we brought in the 3 Paddle Rangers. In Ryu Soldier, we had the 3 in the beginning, and we brought in the 2 Ryu Soldiers a couple episodes later. Kira Major's kind of different, because we technically assembled all 5 in episode 1, but 4 of the 5 were brought in episode 0. So here, this feels like another evolution of that, where we're going to start with 2, and then we build up with 1 each until 4, and then we'll have all 4 Zenkaijers. So I think that's cool. But on the other hand, I was looking very forward to seeing Majin in episode 1, and now I have to wait 2 extra weeks for Majin, and that makes me sad. But on the other hand, it means episode 3 is confirmed like a Majin focus episode. Like, I wouldn't have to wait for a Majin focus episode for very long, so it is kind of a win. So it depends on it depends on how you look at it. I don't get Majin for 2 episodes, but the 3rd episode is about her completely. So everyone's calling me a simp again. No, not a simp. I'm sorry, Vroom fans, that have to wait until episode 4. That's very sad. I am also a Vroom fan. I like Vroom, but I like Majin more. So Zenkaijer is cool. I'm excited for Zenkaijer. I really enjoyed Kira Major, but Zenkaijer looks cool. Majin aside, it looks like it's going to be a very exciting first few episodes, because they're just, like, even from the episode structure, it's going to be completely different. Not completely different, but very different from normal Sentai. Everyone is spamming the chat with simp. That's okay. But then you include Majin, and I'm very excited for the show. So, yes, Marcos, it is a meme, and I have no control over it. This is what I'm relegated to now. Everyone's just gonna call me a simp. So let's move on to Saber before everyone starts calling me a simp again. Thankfully, I don't simp Reika, so no one's gonna call me a simp. So Saber time. Saber, no more simping. Saber, unless we want to simp over Elemental Dragon. I'm just kidding. Who simps over Elemental Dragon? So new form. Kamen Rider Saber, Dragon of the Stars. Don't you love Dragon of the Stars? Okay, I'm gonna go from least exciting to everything that is exciting. So, this is a Televikun Hyper Battle DVD form, and I think it looks pretty cool. The book is, like, apparently based on Televikun itself, and it has the ex-swordsman dude. So that's actually pretty cool. I like that idea. The form looks pretty cool. I like the big comic book cape, and it's got some of the wonder text all over it. The reason I called it Dragon of the Stars is because if you didn't know, Dragon of the Stars is the best Saber meme, because it has been a form rumored since December, and it's fake. It's been proven fake every time, and it it could still come back because it's being rumored for next month too, I think, for Caliber. So Dragon of the Stars is very funny. But who cares about Dragon of the Stars? I don't know the name of this form, actually. I'm just calling it the Telvikun form. What I am a little interested in is what sounds the book will make, because I feel like they wouldn't make it say like Taro Monogatari, a random book name, because I kind of feel like it would fit in the world. What is it? World Story Writer, because they use that for the. Well, it's either going to be World Story Writer or Old Story Writer, because those are the two stories they've used for like real world thing, or the two sounds they've used for real world things. But it would mean the belt would read it as just a random, like just a generic sound. I don't know if they would do that, but I also don't know if they would give it like the Wonder Rider sound. So it's kind of interesting. I think what the name is going to be. Dragon Terebi-kun is the name of the form, so that's cool. I do like the form. It looks cool. I maybe will try to get the book. I just noticed, actually, it does not give Saber a new faceplate. So that's weird. I don't know why I do know why it does that. It's probably because of budget. But canonically, why does it do that? Who knows? There's probably no reason why it does that. So now we'll move on to, I don't know what we'll move on to. Should we move on to the new writer or the new form? We're going to have a very quick poll. New writer or new form? Let me know. How can I see your comments? Well, when people call me a simp, I'm immediately alerted to where that is. So, what do we call? Okay. Should we look at Sabura or Elemental Dragon first? That is the question. Go back to looking at MAGINE. I agree. The person who did not actually say that, and it was just a meme. Everyone's saying, okay, I'm seeing both new writer and new form. New writer. Everyone's saying new writer. Okay, new writer. We'll go to new writer first. I think those are earlier. I'm going to quickly go back to the first pictures. Okay. New writer. Okay, new writer. New writer. Kamen Rider, I don't know her name, actually. So, long story short, Reika is becoming a writer, and that's very cool. I'm very happy for Reika becoming a writer. She even gets a new jacket, because I guess when you become a writer, you get a jacket, because Taishinji did that too. So, Reika is becoming a new writer. She gets a new sword. I should probably look up the names of these things. Be a little bit professional. Let's see. So her sword is called the Eniken Noroshi, which has smoke in it. So she is smoke. That's her element. She's gonna smoke everyone. And her book is called Konchu Dai Hyaka, which is like an insect encyclopedia. So she gets... We need to have a round of applause. We're getting another goddamn animal book, because all we've gotten are eagle, lion, and hedgehog for normal animal books, not counting the Ames and the legend books. Normal animal books, only gotten 3. It makes me very angry. But now we're getting another one, and it's going to be Premium Bandai, but who cares? We're finally getting another animal book. I'm very happy for another animal book. And the book itself looks cool. But the fact it's an animal book is very cool. And Reika becoming a writer is very cool. I think it fits... Well, yeah, it fits very nicely because she's obviously part of the Logos. And people have pointed out since her debut that Sophia, when Reika arrives, Sophia's like, oh, you're... And then it cuts. And Sophia never actually refers to Reika by a name. And every time Sophia refers to someone by name, she has used the writer name. So she only says slash, or she says slash opposed to Daishinji. She called Toma Saber as opposed to Toma. So she never actually said Reika's name. And I guess that was clearly because Sophia knew she was a writer, but I guess none of the other writers knew she was a writer, so that's funny. But now I guess, I don't know what happened. She's like, I'm tired of all these boys not listening to me, so I'm going to become a writer, I guess, or use my sword again. I would assume it's not going to be like Daishinji, where he's like, I need to wait to use my sword again. She's just like, I had this the whole time. I'm tired. I'm going to use it now. I think there's more pictures. Yeah, okay. So, I think what's really cool is, this is kind of groundbreaking for female writers, I think. I would like correction on that if I'm incorrect, but I think this is, like, her suit is, like, fully original. Like, it's not repainted. It's not, like, remold, in quotations, from anything. And she's not using someone else's, like, equipment. She has, technically, because of how Saber works, she has 2 new belts, kind of. The driver, or, like, the actual transformation device, the sword, is, like, completely original. Like, the book is not. The book is a whole new mold. Like, that alone is pretty crazy. And then the sword is not a remold of anything. It's a brand new sword mold. Possibly reused sounds. That's a joke. Probably not. So, like, technically, this is, I think, the first female writer to get an entirely new transformation device. Because if we go back a couple, whatever, did I hear sounds? Whoa! King Wolf super chatted $2, technically $1.99, but I'm just gonna round up. $2. Thank you, King Wolf, for the super chat. Very cool. He said hello, or she. I don't know. Hello. So, where was I? Reika Rider has, I believe, is groundbreaking because she doesn't have a reuse belt. She has her full belt, in quotation marks. Technically, it's a sword. Because if you go back a year, Valkyrie uses the shot riser, which Vulcan used. If you go back, Tsukuyomi had the Jiku driver. If you go back, there was no one in build. In Xaid, Poppy had the Bugle driver, which Kronos used. Nico had the Ride Player Gashat, which was everyone used. If you go back before Xaid, the pink and yellow Necrons were just repaints. Had remolded the weird thing that was also used by the other Necrons. So, yeah, I think this is the most original female rider suit and transformation device ever. So that's very cool. And I'm actually just really excited to see Reika in action because the suit itself, I think the suit looks really cool. It's red and gold and it has some black. So I immediately love the suit. I love the colors, but the actual design is pretty cool. I don't mind it. It's like butterfly themed, I think, because of her book. The helmet's a bit weird. The sword is like with a weird angle as opposed to sticking forward like everyone else or sticking like to the side like Kenzan. It's sticking down. I don't know. The helmet's a bit weird, but the suit itself I really like, and the sword I really like. It looks very cool. This is not. Here's more Reika. Is Reika in? Okay, so here's the thing we looked at already. This picture's very funny. I don't know why. Here's a good look at the helmet. Like, I don't hate the helmet, but I do think the sword part of it is weird. Lagiel's getting it upgraded. Well, who cares? Now, the weird part is her name. So, I've seen this translated a lot. It's either a lot of the translations I've seen are like Sabera, so Sabera, but I've also seen like Severa or like Sever or Sabella or it's weird. I don't know the name, so I'm going to just refer to this as Reika, Kamen Rider Reika, because I don't know the name and I don't want to get used to saying it wrong. Like, everyone's saying Sabera in the chat, but like, that's dumb. It's Saber with an A. It literally makes her sound like Mrs. Saber, and I don't like that. It's just and I'm reserving judgment on the name because it's unclear what the name actually is. It could also we have to make sure it fits with the sword theme, because Sabera doesn't fit with the sword theme. It's just Saber with an A on the end. There's already a dude named Saber. There's nothing called a Sabera or Sabera. At least I think. I don't know. I don't know swords. My knowledge on swords does not go past Japanese sword names. So Ankokugen, Kurayami, Fuosoken, Hayate. That's as far as my knowledge on swords go. So I was gonna say oh yeah, so the sword, I saw someone ask, how do we know it's Premium Bandai? Technically it's not confirmed it's Premium Bandai because we don't know, but Sabera, the sword, I said I wasn't gonna call her that. Reika's sword is not, there's no sword item in this month of toys, and Reika Rider is supposed to debut this in like 2 weeks. So unless they're like dropping that toy in a few months or a few weeks after the character that uses it debuts, or the rider debuts, it has to be Premium Bandai. So that makes me sad because it's gonna be one of the, because I like the suit, I like the form, that is the same thing. I like the suit, the sword, the book. I need the book because it's another animal book. But I don't want to spend a lot of money on sword, but we'll see. And it's also going to be one of the 10 Seikens, I think, that will form the final form sword. And I think it would be very cool to have all 10 Seikens that the final form sword uses. So yeah, I'm definitely going to get the sword at some point. Just whether or not I'm going to pre-order it from Premium Bandai or not, we'll see. And yes, that's true. Technically, if it is Premium Bandai, I mean, since it's a woman writer, it would probably go to Premium Bandai because they don't really like selling female writer toys. Actually, the thing I brought up about this being the most unique female writer, usually I think female writers are just like taken from, or like their designs and stuff are taken from like the main writers, is because you could package like the female writer toy with the main writer toy. So it's like if a boy is like, I'm going to buy the Vulcan, the Shop Riser, because I like Kamen Rider Vulcan. Now you have Vulcan's toy and you're like, I have this, I might as well get the Valkyrie key too. This is a very cynical description, but this is, I think, how Bandai thinks when they're selling the stuff. So it's probably also going to be premium because it's like, why will boys, the young boys that we target our shows at, why will they buy this big sword that belongs to a girl in the show? YouTube, I'm talking about Bandai when I say targeting kids. I am not targeting kids with my videos. Hell, there you go. I said a bad word. Go away, YouTube. So Sabera, Savella, Reika. Cool suit. I'm excited to see her kick slash in Buster's ass in the show. Actually, I really want to talk about that. They're in the northern base, so this situation is literally, presumably, Buster defects from the Sword of Logos, and him and Slash are like, we're gonna go back to our old employer to get some stuff. And their new employer is like, what are you doing here? And kicks their asses. And she's like, what are you guys doing here? Reika, why are you wearing that coat? Because, like you, Daishinji, when you put on a coat when you became a writer, I too have a coat for becoming a rider, and then there you go. So, new form time now. We already showed this picture. You can see Zenkaijer again. Kamen Rider Saber Primitive Elemental Dragon is Saber's new form that he's going to be getting this month. And like we predicted last month, it is the controlled version of Primitive Dragon. And I'm mixed on this form. Here we go. Here's the form. So I'm going to take a drink of water. So I'm mixed on this form. I really want to like it because I love the controlled primitive idea. And the book, I think, is super cool. I love the gimmick of the book. I don't think we have any better pictures, so I might as well talk about the gimmick of the book. The gimmick of the book is amazing. I thought it was going to be a storybook. From the rumors, I thought it was going to be a storybook that you place into the storybook slot, and then you pull out the sword, and it opens, and it's the two hands that just intersect, and it's shaking hands. That's what the rumor said. It was going to be like a shaking hand book. But instead, it's another big-ass book you plug into Primitive, which is already a big-ass book. And then you open it up, and it's just two big-ass books that are connected together. It's a dragon handshake. But then at the same time, the big-ass book flips out a piece onto the other big book, and it changes the face, and I just think it's super cool. And then it fills out the whole belt, too, like the 3 book forms, and I just really like the book, honestly, and the belt. I think it's really cool. Now, the form itself is... I want to like it. Like in some pictures, I'm like, whoa, this looks super cool. And in other shots, it's like, oh, I'm really excited to see it in action. That's kind of where I think it's going to be the make or break for me. I'm going to end up liking it, I think, because I don't hate it, really. But I don't love it either. I don't know what the problem with it is, though. As in, like, I can't figure out what's not clicking for me. I think it's the fact, I think, that they tried to do what like a different version of what Saber's main forms were. So like Brave Dragon in one slot and then a random book in the other slot. So you have like one half is Brave Dragon, the other half is Jakun Todomanoki, and the middle's just like Saber blank parts. That's kind of, I think, what they were trying to, like, mimic here. But what they did is they blended the primitive and the elemental dragon slots. Or, like, the parts. And it kind of comes off looking a bit mismatched. Like, mishmashed. Mashed together. Mashed potatoes together. And, yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think if we did what Primitive does, or what the Primitive form changes are, so what we did is we just turned the whole left side into this fiery elemental dragon, and you kept the right side, like the bony Primitive dragon, because they have fire in the bone on both sides. I think left side should have been all fire, right side should have been all... I guess I'm talking his right, his left. But looking at him on, I guess, like, his right should have been fire. One whole side should have been fire. One whole side should have been primitive. And then the helmet you can mix and match. I don't care. But I think the body shouldn't have mixed them like this, because then it just kind of looks off. But I don't think it looks awful. It just looks off. The color, it's mainly the colors, too. Like, the colors, it's just like the single... primitive, like, sky blue, and then you've got yellow and red and orange. I think it should have just been like red and yellow and then the blue, or maybe even just red and the blue. But I think maybe, yeah, Elemental kind of has a bit too many colors going on that don't really mix that well with Primitive. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of disappointing, I guess, because I was really excited for the full purified Primitive, but I don't know. I love the book though. The book is great. Here's another picture of Primitive. Here's another great look at how the book works, I guess. That's actually a really cool picture of Primitive. Like, the helmet looks really great. I love the helmet. But the rest of it is... I don't know. I'm excited to see it in action because I'll probably like it a bit better. The one interesting thing is that this is the first Saber form, and by Saber form, I mean the whole show of Kamen Rider Saber. This is the first form to change the sword horn. It turns into like a bit of a red. I mean, you can see it perfectly here. It starts silver at the bottom like it normally was, and as you go up, it fades into red. So I think this is... I mean, I guess you can maybe see it with him stabbing this thing from the last few episodes. I think this is the culmination of Toma becoming more like Yuri with his power set, because in the last few episodes Rekka was showing the people being possessed by Megid, then he was able to temporarily cut them before Yuri had to finish it off, and I think... And every time he does that, the sword is, like, glowing a bright red. So I think this is, like, the culmination of Toma's Rekka becoming more like Yuri. Or the Kainken Rekka becoming more like the Kogoken Psycho. Because the helmet is now, like, the reddish Rekka. So I believe in this form he should be able to split humans and Megiddo. But... That's a guess. That's not confirmed. And that is also all that we have of Elemental Dragon. There's still a few other things, but we'll leave it on Elemental Dragon for a second. Yeah, if the primitive dragon turned white, that would have been pretty cool. I think it's just like the I don't know, the blue color doesn't really mix very well. I don't know. It's just, I think it's really the colors. The design is really great, I think, but the colors aren't exactly the greatest. So, I saw someone earlier mentioned that there are too many riders in Kamen Rider Saber because, I mean, Reika's the first rider we've gotten since Psycho, and that, not including Falcon because he's in the show, Reika makes... Let me count my swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Reika's 9 riders in the show. Gaim had like 10 at least by now. So, yeah, I don't know. But I'm not here to rant about too many riders in Saber because I'm really tired about talking about too many riders in Saber. But I forgot to bring up, thank you for people just mentioning like the Elemental Dragon part. It's called Elemental Dragon because apparently it lets Toma use the powers of the Avatar, Earth, Wind, Fire, and Water. Obviously fire. So obviously we have... I mean, it's interesting that it's Earth, Fire, Wind, and Water when those 3 riders are the 3 riders that currently are not on his side. The only one that is on his side is Sound, and Sound isn't part of Elemental Dragon. So I think that's a little interesting. I'm curious to see... Like, I don't know how many of them will be, like, part of will help him make it, right? Like, this has to debut before the end of March. Before the end of March. So are Rintaro, I mean, Buster is probably going to defect by the end of this next episode, but is Rintaro and Ren both gonna defect as well, and then he gets the power up, or is it like, hey boys, I'm gonna steal your swords and now it's mine? So I'm really interested in how that comes about. Maybe there's no connection and it's just a thing. So I get there are a few episode leaks for Saber, but it's not like Zenkaijer, where apparently MAGINE will not appear for multiple episodes, and it makes me very sad. It's just, we know the next episode is about primitive stuff and caliber stuff, which we'll get into in a second. And the episode after that is Reika Rider debut, and that's it. That's all we know so far. And I've come to the decision that I think it's the colors that don't make this form work that much for me. It's the blue and the red. The weird blue color doesn't really work with anything else, I think. I still don't really know. So here's, I think, the most interesting part of the month. Like, here's what I'm talking about. This picture of Elemental looks fantastic. I love the look of it here. But, like, the full body picture, like, I mean, all these pictures of it, I think they look great. But then, like, the full body stuff, it's like, I don't know. So I think maybe it's like this top view that I like it better. I don't really know. So Caliber, if you didn't see the preview for next week, Caliber is coming back. But it's in like one frame, one scene of next episode. I think it's on here. Yeah, it's this top picture. Yuri is going to fight Toma in Primitive with Jaku Dragon Caliber. And that's all we know for next episode. But then we've got more pictures. Now Jaku Dragon's going to fight Sabera, Reika Rider. Caliber's going to fight the Reika Rider. Then he's going to fight Slash. And then he's going to fight Ren. And then he's going to fight Toma. So this man is literally fighting everyone except Yuri. I guess he's going to fight with Yuri. So at first, when we got this first picture, just a clip from the episode, a lot of people brought up the theory that this could be like Yuri, in quotes, dual wielding, since we got that flashback of Yuri literally dual wielding the Psycho and the Kurayami, and people are like, I mean, it's been a few million years or whatever, so this could be like his new version of dual wielding, where he's like possessing, or he's obviously Psycho, but he's also possessing Caliber. But then the question is, how did he get the Kurayami to do that? And I'm saying maybe it's from the what is it? From the Buster and Slash steal it for him when they invade the southern base in last episode, or at least when Slash did, because Buster was just chilling. But then, and I mean, Caliber fighting the Reika Rider, if he's being possessed by Yuri, doesn't really mean anything. But then the fact that he fights Slash when Slash is on their side, and then he's going to be fighting Elemental Toma, and Elemental Toma is good. That's not like a savage Toma. He's purified. I mean, unless they're pulling a fast one, and it's not, we need a new sword to purify Primitive, but probably not. So it's just like, what's going on with Caliber. And the main thing, so the first, as I mentioned, the first question was maybe it's just Yuri possessing Caliber. But then, he's fighting his friend, so it's probably not that. So then a lot of people are saying it's Kento. And if you look at, I think next episode, Caliber is now being played, the suit actor is now being played by Kento's suit actor. But I don't think it's Kento so soon, because if it's like you're going to bring back a dead dude as a new writer, you don't make that a very, very small part of the next episode. Like, I don't, right? Like, you don't really do that. Like, the whole episode, next episode, it's not going to be like, Kento's back and he fights Excalibur. That's it. No, he's gone. But yeah, the lightning on the top is very reminiscent of the Espada lightning in previous scans. So here's what I'm thinking. We know that Kento is trapped in Kuriyami. At least that's what the show would lead us to believe with some of the imagery when Kento died. So let's assume that's true. Kento's trapped into Kuriyami. I don't think this is Kento at first. So next episode, I don't think we're going to see Kento come back as Calibur. Or we could. I guess I have two theories. So first one is Yuri or Slash and Buster stole the Kuriyami last episode, and Yuri dual wields Jaku Dragon, or the Kuriyami and the Psycho, but as like two riders, Jaku Dragon and Kamen Rider Psycho. And they fight Toma together. Next episode, they'll fight Reika together, I guess. But then Jao Dragon is the one that starts fighting the friends. So I think he's like he's dual wielding the Kuriyami at first, and then because of Kento trapped inside, and I guess just Kuriyami being the Kuriyami, Kento is unleashed from the Kuriyami and now becomes Jao Dragon. And the Jao Dragon is like the I'm not going to fight with you anymore Yuri form. And then he goes crazy and starts fighting everyone. So basically, I think yes and no, it's Kento. For the next 2 episodes, I don't think it would be Kento. And then at a certain point, then it does become Kento, if that makes sense. Then on the other hand, maybe it's not Kento. Or no, maybe the whole time it's Kento. Like maybe he just breaks out of the Kuriyami and attains awareness again, and he's just chilling about. Like next episode is literally just going to be Calibur shows up, fights with Psycho, and then leaves. That's it. Next episode, Calibur shows up, fights Reika, then leaves. Then shows up, fights Slash, then leaves. And then at a certain point, then it's like, where's Calibur? And then he shows up, and it's like, oh my god, it's Kento? So, yeah, I don't... It's very interesting what's going on with Calibur. There's definitely something going on because there's no mention of what is going on in the scans. So if it was just the shadow, they would probably tell us it is just the shadow or the Psycho shadow as Calibur. If it was that simple. But if it's not that simple, it's probably a twist reveal that it's someone else in Calibur, then they would not tell us. So I think it is definitely the end game is that this is Kento as Kamen Rider Calibur. It's just how do we get there is, I think, the interesting question. Of course, there's also the possibility it is not Kento. It could be the other dude or the other dude that were Calibur, or it could just be the Kuriyami going nuts and it's like Psycho, and it's not Psycho the English word Psycho the word in Kamen Rider Psycho, that that way of Psycho. Maybe this is like the Kuriyami's become alive and now it's fighting everyone, and then it becomes Kento. But that would be maybe too weird. So yeah, that is all in the scans. I'm gonna leave it on this picture for a couple minutes, and then we'll switch maybe to another picture. So let me know what you think of anything in Rider with Saber, the Elemental Dragon, Calibur coming back, Kamen Rider Saber -A, the Reika Kamen Rider. One thing I forgot to mention is next month we're getting a Blades upgrade, I believe. And there's a picture in the scans of Blades, not in these scans, of Blades using the Elemental Dragon book, but just the Elemental Dragon book. And I haven't seen anyone that's like, whoa, what's gonna happen with the new form or whatever. I'm assuming that it's gonna be like Hyper Muteki in Xaid, where Hyper Muteki would use or the other riders could use Hyper Muteki and gain invincibility. I think that could happen with the other riders using the Elemental book. They get like temporary elemental form or whatever. I don't know. Just a guess. Elemental on its own is going to be used, but I don't know where. What if he shows up at the last minute to tease? I mean, that's definitely a possibility. He'll show up at the last minute and it's a tease. I think that's... Yeah, I went to rewatch some parts in Xaid just to make sure, because it's very similar to when Laser Turbo came back. And Laser Turbo was not in the previews, I think. Actually, I didn't check the previews. But Laser Turbo was not in, I think, the preview when he appeared. He was very briefly at the end. And the preview for the next episode that was going to be about Laser Turbo was all about, is this actually Kiria? So that could be what's going on here. It's going to be like Kento's like at the end, like, oh my god, it's Kento. And then maybe the next episode's all about it. But then the next episode's also about Reika Rider. So who knows? One thing I'm actually very excited to hear is the Elemental Dragon sound, the book sound, because I love I love looking at how the Saber toys work, because I think they're cool. So I know how mechanically it works. There's some cool like flippage going on, but I think it's kind of interesting how the sounds will work, because this is assuming that Primitive Dragon does not recognize what book is inside of it, because it's possible that the primitive book just it recognizes there's a big book inside of me and I'm not gonna make any sounds. That did sound weird. we're gonna just move past it. So assuming that Primitive does not understand that there's Elemental Dragon inside of it, I'm very interested how the sounds will work with Elemental, because Primitive does have some like setup for more sounds to come out of Primitive has some sounds to come out of Elemental, because when in Primitive's jingle, if you haven't heard Primitive Dragon's jingle, at the end it says Primitive and there's a gap, and then it says Dragon, and then there's no like post announcement like all the other jingles have been, like Rekka Isatsu blah 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 blah, or Rekka Isatsu, and then like the other ones are like Sunowachi Dosioi, in short, he's damn strong. Primitive is missing that, so I would assume Elemental fills that in. Elemental's gonna have the post transformation announcement, and then Primitive, I believe, would also have the not Primitive, Elemental would have the post transformation announcement, and then I think that in the middle of the part where, oops, I didn't want to do that. How do I? Hold on, technical difficulties. We're gonna... Okay, so I have to... I'll open a new window. Give me a second. Wait. Oh no. I don't want to do that. No. Okay. We'll just look at this picture for a second. In that there is no picture here. Hold on. I need to do something. Technical difficulties, everyone. Let's ignore the technical difficulties. Because there are no technical difficulties, right? Yes, Sabura's name is Sabra. That's definitely what it is. There is no there is no other explanation. It's Sabra. Okay. So what was I gonna say? Let me put the image back up. How do I do this again? Where did it go? Hold on. Ooh, nope, nope. Huh. Doesn't want me to put up a picture of it. Did you guys take over my chat? It doesn't want me to put up a picture of Elemental Dragon. That sounds awfully familiar. Oh no. Oh no. Ah! Man, this is so nostalgic when I could not get anything done with live streaming. Okay, there we go. So where was I? The jingle. I think Elemental Dragon is going to have the post-announcement jingle, that all the Saber stuff, and in the gap where it says primitive space dragon, it's going to fill that in. It's going to say Elemental Dragon. So it's going to be primitive Elemental Dragon. That is my... Well, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That was it. So that, yeah, that's all I had to say. That was a mess to get out of my mouth, but it would not be a Thomas Jujubee video if I said something wrong, even though I've spoken English my entire life. So let's see, final thoughts on Saber. I love Primitive Dragon's book gimmick. I didn't even really bring it up, but like, it makes a handshake in the book. That's so funny. It's cute but funny and kind of epic in a way. So I love the books. The form I really want to like, and I do like it. I won't say I don't like it or I don't love it. I don't love it, but I do like it. I think there were some things we could have done better with it. But I do look forward to seeing it in action because I think it'll look cooler to me in action, at least. Reika Rider, hopefully we get a translation for that name soon because I don't know what the translation for the name is. But Reika Rider looks cool. Caliber, I'm glad we're getting some story mystery going on because story mystery is always very cool in Kamen Rider, especially nowadays. I'm really loving how Saber's been so interesting with how everything is happening because we don't get the big catalog leaks anymore. So it's a lot more interesting what's going on, and I think this would still be interesting because we wouldn't get in the toys leaks, we wouldn't get description of what's going on with Kento. So, but there's a lot of stuff, interesting stuff that is going on, and I'm interested to see what's going on with it. I already talked about Zenkaijer, but obviously I'm excited for Zenkaijer, but I'm mainly excited for one thing in Zenkaijer, and that is Zenkai MAGINE. I have no shame. I'm very excited for Zenkai MAGINE. So, how long have I been going? An hour and 33 about. So we'll go for like 10 more minutes. 145. I think that's when I ended last month. So we'll go for like 145. I'll answer any questions about the scans, about MAGINE, about anything. Yeah, I've seen that Reika's rider name would be Sever. I would be okay if it was Sever. Perfectly okay with that because it fits. I don't have a MAGINE shrine because no MAGINE toys are out yet, and technically, I would have a very small MAGINE shrine because they're going to be selling a lot of stuff of her Ranger form, and her Ranger form is pretty okay. The civilian form is where it's at. Very, very good design in many ways. What's a simp? I'm not sure. Kamen Rider Calibra. That's pretty good. Good meme. Good meme. Calibra. Saber Calibra. Am I planning on getting a Max Ryusoul Red figure and any other things from Dino Fury? I am actually planning to get everything of Dino Fury. Not everything. 100%. I mean, technically everything except like the really gimmicky stuff. So the Zords, I'm 100% getting those because I love the Ryu Soldier Zords. I really want those Ryu Soldier Zords. The roleplay toys, I want those for display because I think they look great. The sounds are also pretty cool. The actual keys are pretty garbage, and the figures are really cool. And the question was specifically, am I getting a Max Ryusoul Red figure? That is 100% true because that's my favorite Sentai suit. MAGINE aside, my favorite suit in Sentai is Max Ryusoul Red. That is a very epic suit, and I love the red, the gold. I mean, it's kind of like Primitive Dragon without the blue. And I'm actually realizing that Elemental Dragon would have been a very beautiful form if it wasn't a Primitive Dragon hybrid. Because that would have just been red, yellow, orange. It would have been very hot, literally, in the show in as a form. So, why do I like Zenkai MAGINE so much? So, the design of the civilian form, I really like the design of the civilian form. Like, no lie. I love, like, it's just a little cute anime robot. Not anime. I don't want to say it's because of it anime, but I just like, it's a cute little robot, and it's pink, and she has like the long ponytail. I like the long ponytail. I legitimately like the MAGINE civilian form design. Like, that's why. The Ranger form is fine, and I also from the clips we've seen of MAGINE, MAGINE is also very cute personality wise. So it's mainly design. I love the MAGINE civilian design. She looks very adorable, but Kamen Rider Flint? No, we're not talking about Kamen Rider Flint. No. No more, please. No more Kamen Rider Flint. Dragon of the Stars? We'll talk about Dragon of the Stars, but Kamen Rider Flint? Hell no. No Kamen Rider Flint. Kamen Rider Flint, bad. Understand? Flint, bad. Do I think there's a chance? Oh, I guess you didn't. You haven't. I guess I didn't show the scan, so it's fine. There is a picture of Blades is going to be using Elemental Dragon on its own, but they did not. There's no specification of what that is doing, so it is going to be, or at least maybe the toy has the ability to be used on its own, but there's no specification of what that does. So Yes, there is a Televi-kun form. I looked at it earlier. It looks pretty cool. I like the idea. Um, it actually they filmed it like pretty recently because it got the film with the filmed image with Psycho was like a couple weeks ago, and people thought it was Dragon of the Stars because it's a funny meme. I mean, of course. Um, so, any other Majin related questions? I mean, questions. Uh, I guess before I quit in like 5 minutes, because I do not want to say this at the end, reminder that next week is going to be my season review of Mashin Sentai Cure Major. If you would like to see the season review early this weekend, or alternatively you want access to the early audio version or the extended, like there's over like 20 minutes of extra audio for the review and past reviews as well, including Dino Fury and the Deno videos earlier this or last month. For $2 on Patreon, you can get all of that. And in this coming month, there's going to be a lot more videos. I've got like a video planned for like every week of this month. We'll see if that actually pans out. But if that pans out, there's a lot of stuff coming for patrons next month. Do I need a Majin Muteki form? Yes, I think I do. Saber Unboxing 3. Saber Unboxing 3 is coming because I did film my stuff. I do have those toys as proof. I have stuff from Saber Unboxing 3. I've been busy because there's other stuff I wanted to release, and I also didn't want to release so many unboxings within the same like 3 months. So that hopefully will be out in April after my last Rider anniversary video. That should be coming up, and when that video goes up, I'll have like the full raw video on Patreon. So if you want to see that, that'll be on Patreon. But that's going to be in like April, so if you just want to see that, then wait for April. How did I grab that so quickly? Because it's right next to me. I have all of my Saber toys displayed right next to my desk. So, well, all the books. The swords are a little bit farther, but I could get them very quickly. So, no, Majin is not a granny. That is false, incorrect, not true. Why are they making the super form so uncontrollable? Because, I mean, they get to sell another toy. If they do it in build, they're like, oh, Hazard's too unpowerful. Here's a new toy to buy, and they can resell it with like a pack. So it's all for the money. So Kiwami or Kachidoki? Kachidoki. Kachidoki, very cool. But Kiwami is cool too. I like the all weapon. Like the powers of Kiwami are cooler, but the Kachidoki looks cooler. And I guess we're getting Kiwami to Electric Boogaloo in Saber this year in Saber with the final form, and I'm very happy about that because I really want that to happen, and it also makes me feel like I can be Toma final form because I have all the swords up until that point, or hopefully I'll have all the swords. I don't really want the blade driver because it's bad, but if it's in the show and it's part of the final form, maybe I need to get it. The premium items, I'm a little like, I don't really need to get them. But I'll probably get the Reika sword because it looks cool. So, what about Kiwami without the cape? No, very bad. Favorite X8 upgrade form? I mean, do you mean not Hyper Muteki? Because if you mean not Hyper Muteki, then I guess Maximum? Maybe the Mighty Brothers? Any chance of a Kamen Rider Minecraft SMP? No, because I don't know how that would work, and that's probably too much of a time commitment for me to do. So, probably not from me. So, okay. Someone posted, Izu, you took everything from me. Majin, I don't even know who you are. I never simped Izu. I don't know. Well, I don't simp Majin either, but I never simped Izu. I don't know where that information is coming from. That is false. But I don't simp Majin either. Anyway, what mech from Q Ranger would I get from here? If you mean if they were adapted, I would, if I had to pick one, I'd probably get the Ryu Commander mecha, but I would also get all of them because they're cool. Who wields weapons better, Kiwami or Shishi Red Orion? Kiwami, because the weapons are cooler. Any theory videos for Dino Fury? Probably not. The Dino Fury video actually is doing very well. I didn't think it would because I haven't uploaded anything that's actually Power Rangers. Not counting Sentai Potential because that's more of Sentai Part 2 with the review. But I haven't uploaded anything that's legitimately just Power Rangers in so long that I'm actually really surprised that so many people are watching that video. So I think at this point, at least, I know I'll do a full review in 2 years when the show's over. But theory videos, I don't know. We'll see, because I'm more interested in doing theory videos on like Saber or Zenkaijer. So we'll see. I don't simp Yua either. Throwing that out there. Black Eagle Man says this is his first time for a live stream chat. Welcome to the stream. But I'm also gonna end in like 2 seconds. So thank you for coming, but I'm sorry that it's almost over. So I am actually about, I'll say it now, I'm gonna end the stream. So if you have any last questions you would like to ask me, 2 things. In the description is a link to the Discord server that I'm very active on for some reason, so you can just go in there and ask me questions if you want. There's a whole Q&A channel. And then also there's a link to my Twitter, where I absolutely do not post every picture of Majin I find. And I've also got a link to my Patreon, where again I'm going to be uploading a lot of stuff in this coming week and this coming month. So there's that. So I need to turn off this picture because it's on my Chrome page. So we'll just do that. Okay. Opinion on Kamen Rider Eden. The belt, the suit's fine. The belt is pretty bad. I don't like the contrasting yellow. Am I sub to Dino Charge Red Brendan Mejia? I am not. But maybe I should, because he's a cool Red Ranger, and his suit's cool. How many times am I going to tweet Majin pics on Twitter to flood your timeline? So Majin's a main character of the show, so I have no promise how many Majin pictures will appear on Twitter. A lot. I can promise that. I have a video too now, I think. So yeah. So I guess, I just realized next time I do a live stream, unless something terribly goes wrong, next time I do a live stream, Zenkai Majin will have appeared in Kikai Sentai Zenkaijer. So that's very cool. So I guess we'll leave with that interesting thought. Next time we stream, or next time I stream, more Majin. So that's it. I hope to see you next time. Stay tuned for the Kamen Rider Potential and season review, and I hope to see you next time.